of real importance. Perhaps Jonathan Davies playing at full-back will be an advantage after all.
Thanks very much, Phil. Castleford are out on the pitch now. They're raring to go. So too are commentators Brian Smith and Clive Tilsley.
Thank you, Rob. I can think of better places to be than under a high ball this afternoon. It's who'd be a full-back day in windy Widnes. And Widnes are without their first-choice full-back, Alan Tate, and maybe for some time he's to see a specialist about his continuing pelvic problems. So Jonathan Davies switches to number 1, and Darren Wright is recalled in his favourite centre position. Jonathan Davies played his first ever rugby league game at full-back in this fixture last November and scored a breathtaking try en route to the Man of the Match award. Well, Castleford's problems don't end with their travel arrangements because they're without several key players, Gary French and John Joyner, and now Neil Batty and Keith England, who failed fitness test this morning. But Lee Crooks, the captain, is fit. The big question mark is how have their preparations been disrupted? Alan Burke is the man in charge, as indeed he was last Saturday when we covered the Lancashire Cup final on Rugby League Live. The gale force wind is blowing almost directly down the field, and Widnes will be playing into it in the first half. And Brian Smith alongside me, it's a win which I think you could quantify in terms of points. Really, Castleford have got to be in front at half-time.
Yeah, you would think so, and it's Cass will be looking towards Steadman in particular to try to control this first half, and maybe just the toss of the coin there has swung things back a little bit in Castleford's way after that early setback with their disruption to arrival.
Here's Jeff Hardy there, loose forward. The league table may show Widnes third from the top and Castleford third from the bottom, but the gap's only 4 points. Castleford's Yorkshire Cup celebrations maybe left them with a bit of a championship hangover, which they hope will have been cured by their first league win of the season against Featherstone at the weekend. Here's the first touch for Jonathan Davies. And already he's showing an eye for a break. Widnes have had to scrape through a couple of tight matches to get their title bid moving. They've not always been at their best this season. There's not nearly as much to choose between these two sides on form as the league table suggests. Chris Ashurst bedecked in a scrum cap to protect the 9 stitches that he had above an eye during last week's Lancashire Cup final. Castleford caught offside, and a penalty to Widnes. Alan Burke, who's taking charge of Widnes for the 4th time this season. Big Joe Grimmer. An outstanding first half in the midweek game against Oldham, which carried Widnes into 3rd place. And here he is again. On fire. Castleford cover a little bit short for a moment, but St John Ellis managed to get across and make the tackle.
He's a really quick customer too, St John Ellis. There's a little bit of bad blood there between those two. Maybe a fire didn't like someone showing the same sort of speed as he's got. Widnes' big task in this half will be to try to control the ball for as long as possible, slow the game right down and maintain possession for as much of this first 40 minutes as they can, and then perhaps try to open up, really go for it in the second half. Well, that's the way I'd approach it. I'm not sure if they will.
It's in their veins to play naturally exciting rugby league, but they're going to have to be very disciplined in these first 40 minutes, playing into the teeth of the gale. Neil Roebuck is the Castleford scrum half today. This is Martin Kettridge. Southernwood going alone from acting half-back. He's keeping Kevin Beardmore out of the Castleford side at the moment, and a year ago, Beardmore was Great Britain's first-choice test hooker.
It's a good play by Cass. First the dummy by Southernwood, and then run the ball in their own quarter with good control, and eventually get the kick in.
And there's a measure of the breeze. Steadman's kick running dead. And a touch search. I think has ruled that Jonathan Davis got a touch there.
I think Mr. Burke has seen common sense. I think the touch judge thought it went dead short of the goal, the corner post.
It certainly didn't. Mosi Koloto has been voted Rugby League Entertainer of the Month. I don't know who was voting, but they certainly haven't tackled him during that month. I think of nothing less entertaining. Ball spilled. Here's Neil Roebuck. Chance for St. John Ellis. O'Fire's turn to do some defending, and he's good enough. Scrum down. David Hume was Widnes' man of the match in midweek. He was also top of their tackle count, the little scrum half. I was talking to him prior to the game, he said he just couldn't get out of the way quickly enough. Myler. Richard Ayres. Offside, Castleford. Grant Anderson, the guilty party. Quickly taken, and Andy Courier has some space, and he has John Devereux in support, but he just thought twice about it. Thought about going in alone. Castleford penalised in the tackle. Courier wasn't allowed to play the ball quickly.
No excuse for that, really, for Cass being trapped inside the 5 metres in defence when they've got Cass. When they had Widnes pegged in the other end of the field, they can't kick the ball away. They just have to ruck it out. So no excuse at all for them to be inside the 5. Perhaps now at this end of the field, but not the other.
Grimmer, a little move with David Hume and Mosi Koloto. They'll take low down by Graham Southernwood. Grimmer again. Picking up young McAllister.
And a good tackle by the young fella too. Front on and pinned the ball as well.
David Hume again. Koloto. Through the full-back challenge. Ball went loose. Went forward, I suspect. No way that Steve Larder could hold big on Mosi Koloto, but on the handover, Castleford regained possession. We're 6 minutes into this match. We had a late kick-off because Castleford were delayed on their journey to Norton Park by a terrible motorway hold-up in Yorkshire. We've got a bit of an overlap here too, and Anderson coming inside and finding Larder linking up, and he's got McAllister there too, and Roebuck. Here's St. John Ellis. Still got Irwin if he needs him. He's taken on O'Fire again. And O'Fire's got some help from Darren Wright, 5th tackle. Little kick through shouldn't trouble Jonathan Davis. Sean Irwin hasn't quite got the pace to get him there.
Some really brilliant attacking play there by Castleford. Again, they've run the ball down the short side out of their own quarter, just when Widnes thought they would use the long kick. Some great inside support by Larder from fullback, and then a lovely chip. This is where they want to be in this first 40 minutes.
Jonathan Davis can only find 35, 40 yards from the drop out from beneath the posts. It's one of the strongest boots in the game. But Castleford with the wind at their backs in the shape of Terry McAllister. Ketteridge. Rain still pelting down. It's a real Noah's Ark day. Here's Jeff Hardy. Ketteridge losing his footing before Holliday could get to him. 5th tackle. Little kick by Steadman. That's an awkward one, which Davis has come to claim and lost, and the ball's loose. Steadman's there. Castleford have a try. It's Steve Larder who got there ahead of Graham Steadman. Steve Larder's try from Graham Steadman's little kick ahead. Stand-off half getting the congratulations, but if a fancy his fullback beat him to it. Either way, Castleford are 4 points up.
You make up your mind about who scored the try, but it's certainly very good tactics by Stedman. A well-placed, really well-judged left foot kick with a great chase on it. And look at the Castleford heads. Davies made a complete botch of it.
Steve Larder for me.
Larder will claim that one. Here's the head-on shot on this. You can see it just as Jonathan Davies saw it. Or did he? There are those amongst us who feel that Jonathan's pretty good when the going's good.
Now Larder on the left, Stedman on the right. Larder.
Yeah, it's Larder.
Crooks has missed the conversion attempt. Castleford lead by 4 points to nil. And Steve Larder, who scored 29 tries last season, the best ever by a Castleford fullback, has taken his tally for the new season to 5 and taken Castleford's tally to 4 points. Well, Jonathan Davies had an absolutely outstanding game in the #1 shirt for Widnes in this fixture last season. He then had a rather less than happy outing in their next game. He played once in the fullback's jersey this season, so this is only his 4th match in a #1 shirt, and that was a real tester for him.
It's not a nice day, Clive. I think you opened the broadcast with saying it's not a nice day to be under a high ball, particularly with a great chase on it like that. That's the taster. Now we'll see if Cass can do it again.
There's a demonstration by the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Fullbacks outside the ground today. Wind, rain, and big Castleford forwards bearing down on you. That's when you don't want the ball in the air. Sutherwood, busy little character. Lost the ball though. Tony Marler has it back for Widnes. And Richard Ayres has some open field and a lot of pace outside him. Good tackle, Neil Roebuck. Holiday, Coloto.
McAllister again who stopped Coloto and pinned the ball.
Holiday. Mackenzie in pursuit. Goes too high for Stedman. Meyer on throw fire. And look who's popped up. And look who's going clear. And look who scored his 100th league try. A very stupid altercation with St John Ellis after a glorious moment for Martin O'Fire, because that is the fastest century of First Division tries in the history of the game. It's taken him just 70 games. And what a shame that he should spoil the celebrations by getting involved with a party pooper.
This could well... This front-on shot, so again, brilliant tactics by this time by Widnes. Use of the wind, the chip kick so the ball holds up in the air. Great pass by Mackenzie, and there he goes. His anticipation of a break is first class. Unfortunately, he's marred it all here at the end with a very silly incident which is going to show maybe O'Fire's 100th try is marked by a 10-minute sin bidding.
Bounce was very cruel for Graham Stedman. Look at Phil Mackenzie keeping it alive. Myler, and that is the end of that.
That's brilliant hands on a wet day, as well as good tactics.
O'Fire and St John Ellis are currently being lectured by the referee. They had the two captains over too, Tony Myler and Lee Crooks, and that's as far as Alan Burke's taken it. But it was as unnecessary, really, as it was.
That's where it should have finished, Clive. Now you see, I think O'Fire's the instigator.
Well, I don't know, Ellis has obviously said something there.
That's a really silly piece. I can't believe Mr. Burke didn't put them both in the bin for that. They'll both want to cool it, or they might get more than the bin next time.
Just to recap on those extraordinary figures, Keith Fielding of Salford scored the previous fastest 100 First Division tries. That took him 108 games, and Afire has done it in just over 70. His 148th career try, 100 of those in the First Division. Jonathan Davis went between the posts, but under the crossbar, so it's 4 points each.
Yeah, very good kick on a wet day. That he knew to keep it low and hard, try not to let the wind take too much effect on it. I see some really smart football in the most difficult of conditions. You said they were running downwind, Clive. I think it's actually downstream now.
And Castleford, with the wind, are able to kick the ball right through the Widnes defences and force the Chemics to restart with a drop from beneath the post.
Not so brilliant football there by Widnes. They should have had that dead ball line well and truly covered with at least 4 or 5 players.
They are, as soon as the ball's up in the air, like those golf shots you hit this morning, they just start coming back at you. That's the other problem, it's not too clever underfoot either. Roebuck, Crooks. He'll be one of the players most disappointed not to have made that initial 19-strong Great Britain touring party, Lee Crooks.
Here it comes again.
Stedman looking for Davis again. Again, he couldn't gather it. It's kicked dead by Mackenzie. Drop out from beneath the post is the verdict.
Dougie Lawton, make a change real fast. Make a positional change. He shot, Jonathan's nervous shot there. I mean, no one's going to make it easy, but he didn't want to know about that one.
Here's his opposite number, Steve Larder. His turn will come in the second half. He'll be watching Jonathan Davis's malaise with growing interest.
This has just about become 3 up for a bomb.
Crooks, a little forward there. Roebuck tackle. Stedman again, and there's the kick this time along the ground, behind Devereux, gathered it well. It's the real test of a mettle of a side, they can run it out from this deep position. Helps when you get a penalty along the way.
Yeah, again, it's dumb football. They just don't need to do that sort of thing. They've got Widnes where they want them. They can make sure of it, rather than sacrifice a penalty. Sacrifice a couple of metres, but don't sacrifice a penalty.
We've just joined us. We're 17 minutes into this Stone Spinner Championship match at Norton Park. A delayed kick-off. It's Castleford 4, Widnes 4. And despite the horrific conditions, we've seen some good handling and some very bold attacking play from both sides. But the key tactic now appears to be Widnes' ability to deal with the high Castleford kicks in this first half, with the visitors having this strong gale at their backs. Richard Ayres. Good break. Looking stronger and stronger this season. Caloto. Sweet little kick.
Actually, Clive, Widnes in this sort of position could well use the bomb themselves, because, you know, I mean, they're not going to gain a lot of territory. They gain maybe 15, 20 metres out of that. They might just get a refund and get 6 again with a good high bomb midfield.
Where did David Hume come from? I don't see too many against the head these days. Myler. Right. Davis. Good defence by Sean Irwin. Grimmer. Really seems to be carrying the ball forward strongly again, Joe Grimmer. Echoes of that marvellous performance against the Raiders at Old Trafford. Had a little spell out of the team this season, and it just have shaken him up. Tony Myler, great break, back all the way himself, captain's try. Back to his best. Tony Myler, all on his own.
This is a replay of last week where we saw Myler rip right through the middle. He took the heart of Salford's defence apart last week off a very alert play off the acting half, and he's still got the legs, as Tony Myler. Straight through the middle. Some very alert play by McKenzie at acting half as well. There's the front on from it. Myler still got that lovely balance. He's a brilliant runner. Some poor defence in the middle of the ruck there by Cass, but you've got to give some credit there for some very slick handling and lovely footwork on a greasy day. That's a beautiful stride all the way to the line. Not a chance in the world.
Everybody in any sort of form is being talked about as a test candidate at the moment. It's 4 years since Tony Myler put on a Great Britain jersey. The last time Australia were here in Britain. Ooh, that just whipped wide of the post. Seemed to be true all the way from Davis. He just took the borrow at the last minute. But Widnes, against the wind, and maybe because of that, against the odds, lead by 8 points to 4. I don't know if it's good news for them or not, but the wind suddenly seems to be dying down a little bit. We've actually got some bright sky emerging over Norton Park. Darren Wright. I think having endured 20 minutes of playing into a gale, Widnes would quite like that gale to remain in place.
I feel that they won't care what's going to happen now, Clive. I think they're starting to get in the groove.
There's a real fluency about them at the moment. Rugby League live from Norton Park, where we're 21 minutes into this match, with Widnes leading Castleford by 8 points to 4. Steve Larder is the Castleford fullback. Jonathan Davis is the Widnes fullback.
That's great tactics by Larder. Well done.
That's the time to get fire before he's taken his first 2 deadly strides. Jeff Hardy it is who's doing all the tackling up. Hume to Holiday. Lovely short ball, Myler's clear again. Devereux trying to get there, he's got Courier inside, he didn't really need to be quite that fancy. Tony Myler's one of the best passers in the game. And I'm not quite sure where that little back of the hand affair was necessary.
I agree with you, Clive, but there were some beautiful hands before that. There's the pass, lovely ball by Holiday. Yeah, there you can see Courier well back inside. Just a simple inside pass would have seen him home.
Courier penalised meanwhile for throwing Grant Anderson to the ground. Good kick by Steadman. Certainly Castleford's late arrival here at Norton Park because of their traffic problems might have given them some kind of excuse, but they actually started the match very well. Their preparations didn't appear to have been unduly affected, but Widnes have come back at them with some typical Widnes play, good movement of the ball and individual excellence to bring the tries for a fire and Myler. 8-4 and a Widnes ball. John Devereux.
Great marker play, Roebuck. And some very good smart marker play by McAllister. That's Mackenzie's favourite play, that one.
This is the sixth tackle play, and that's Davis's kick. Steve Larder. Davis is up on him. Plange. Kettridge playing hard to get. Southernwood for Hardy. Offloaded to Crooks. Good tackle. Rimmer smothering the ball. Steadman. He's getting a little bit kick crazy there. As well fielded by Myler, and this is where they come back at you. Koloto. Difficult one for Devereux to take in his stride. Myler again, just trying to slip through the gap, and he almost got Darren right there.
It's a great example of their absolute willingness to shift the ball at any time. First tackle on the right-hand side of the field, just outside their quarter, and it very nearly paid off for them. It's a brilliant ball by Myler. In fact, if Wright had been a little more alert, I think they may have scored a try out of that.
Got the ball back too, because Neil Roebuck fed the scrum. Wind is gusting strong again after a brief lull. But so are Widnes. Ashurst, he took a high one last week. That was on the chest from Sampson, says the referee. Holliday went without the ball. Got it back now, but they've gone forward. Chris Ashurst leaving the field for a moment. Certainly looked a rather dangerous tackle by Sampson. And Ashurst, who was in the wars last Saturday and who missed the midweek game as a result of that rather high challenge by Chris Whiteley, is being replaced by David Smith.
I think he was questioning the touch judge's ability to see what happened there. I think he might have split those stitches open again.
Steadman. Irwin. McAllister. Roebuck. Hardy. Great run by Hardy. Good tackle, Jonathan Davis. And he's prevented the try too. That was a brave, brave tackle by the Widnes fullback. He's paid a price for it.
It's a lovely short side play again there. And a long ball from Roebuck picked out the right player. Jeff Hardy hit it straight. Looking on the outside of Darren.
Just encountering one or two technical problems, but the problems at the moment are Widnes's deep inside their own 25, but in possession. Well, at least they were briefly. Here's St. John Ellis. Steadman, Southernwood. Kettridge couldn't gather it. Courier could.